Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This episode is a Jiu Jitsu episode. It's not. I was gonna make it an official Mad Scientist Lab podcast episode. Well, what have we been on? Episode 12. But I think I'm just gonna start a whole new section for under basically another show under the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. But it's going to be geared toward jiu-jitsu. Most of you guys know that I practice jiu-jitsu. I practice a few martial arts styles, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai on occasion when I don't have the jiu-jitsu bug. So I'm going to start doing a couple shows. I've had a lot of people that have expressed, in the jiu-jitsu community, who have expressed wanting to be on the podcast, so we can do the same thing we do on the regular show, but in the jiu-jitsu format, and have some jiu-jitsu conversations for the community, and kind of help get the awareness of what the benefits of Brazilian jiu-jitsu can do for anybody, young, old, male, female. It gets kind of loud. It's kind of loud in the beginning. We're in the restaurant eating some food. We had just come back from U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. So just bear with it for a little bit. Then we end up moving into back to the gym and start talking about the different things in the jiu-jitsu community. So there you have it. So with that being said, this is the first episode of The Science of Jiu-Jitsu. Holla.
I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. Merit scientist lab. Merit scientist lab.
So, yo. Yeah, we're going.
Good.
Hey, recording? Yeah, we're recording. So, this is the Mad Scientist Lab, a.k.a. Jared, the Visual Mad Scientist. We are here at Old Black Bear Brewery in Huntsville, Alabama, and I got my buddies Bill, Levi, and Dr. Brian Moore. He hates that, but we're going to do it anyway. We're just sitting here getting ready to get some food and watching the Redskins-Cowboy game. Redskins losing as usual. So what's going on, fellas? Kind of introduce yourself.
Why don't we start with the doctor? Dr. Moore, tell us something.
Whatever. Y'all wow. Just tick me off. Brian Moore, owner, head instructor, Arsenal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here in Huntsville, Alabama. Research scientist by day, Jiu-Jitsu practitioner every other time. That's pretty much it. Lived down here in Huntsville, love it. Lived down here for about 4 or 5 years. Wouldn't change a thing about it.
Well, very well. Yeah, we trained there yesterday. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Learned some cool new moves from a lot of people.
Good time.
So tell us a little bit about Huntsville, since you've been trying to sell me on moving down here.
Man, I'll tell everybody and their mama on it. So, Huntsville is Rocket City. We're known for the NASA programs related to the missile programs, rockets, Saturn V.
It's all right, man. Thank you.
The drinks just came. But, just we're known as a technical town. We're a military town, an engineering town. Can't
You
be.
gotta talk up.
No, I can't. I thought it was.
But I will say these drinks are freaking amazing. Oh my god!
I tried to tell you. And you'll still have some money in your wallet when you go home.
So, man, this margarita is $11. I don't know about that.
What did you get, Levi?
The same.
You got the blackberry mule?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never had a mule before. Never had a blackberry mule before.
Drink it.
It's damn good.
I drink this all day.
Okay, so this moonshine margarita joint,
How's that taste?
Yeah.
this shows off the chain.
Oh,
I tried to told you.
See?
I tried to told you.
Oh, I'm gonna get drunk as hell.
I'm trying to tell you. It's gonna be. That's why I said we get here a little earlier. It's gonna be a while.
So we just came back from
Space Center.
Space Center, Marshall Aerospace Space.
Davidson.
Yeah. Oh, that was Davidson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
Basically the museum.
some NASA shit.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. No, the burning question of the day was how did the astronauts poop on the moon?
that's right. Look, it was very important to figure out how they were going to extract that fecal matter and dispose of it in an appropriate sense. I mean, when you start talking about the evolution of getting rid of the fecal matter, you need to find a subject matter expert. And we went to the right place to find one. Wouldn't you say, Jared?
Yeah, I agree. We did with the proxy of Bill going to find this expert.
I mean, it was a quest. It was a quest. You couldn't just find that in a general admission area.
Now, you know one thing that did interest me, or that like I noticed, when he said they used double-sided tape at the mouth of.
Yes.
When he said mouth, he was talking about the butthole.
That's right.
Uranus?
Yeah, Uranus.
Not to be mistaken with the planet Uranus.
The other anus.
But your actual anus. Okay.
People are trying to eat around here.
As they extracted that waste material and it went down a tube into a baggie system. And so what they did is they had some bacteria in there that would actually help to dissolve it over time. But what was really interesting, Jared, is they still said that they had some moon nuggets they left out on the moon, man.
Moon nugget. Oh, it was bagged up though, right?
It was backed up, so what they couldn't
No,
dispose.
not backed up, bagged up.
It was bagged up too. Look, it was backed up and then it got bagged up and then it got left on the moon. What I'm trying to say is right now, one of the best things that they can do is get the expedition going back to the moon to grab those poop bags, those doggy bags, those things they left to go, and bring it back to Earth, and let's have a study of the things that happened over time.
Yeah, no, let's bring the poop talk down a little bit.
All right.
We can talk about some of the.
We've been trying to suppress the fecal matter for years. I guess we can suppress it one more time.
I apologize in advance.
This is what we've been dealing with all day, folks.
But we did also discover the actual spot of the fake moon landing. And Bill,
we got video.
Bill took video, and Jared made sure that it was authenticated the location, and then also authenticated that the Earth is flat.
Well, actually, I just say for the record, on behalf of all of us here in Huntsville, none of this shit is true.
Hey, the scientist has spoken.
Not one word of it.
Hey,
He's just scared.
I think the Moscow mules are talking for us.
yeah, a little bit.
Hey guys, so before we order anything, the strip and grits, or the grits in general, we have a little small portion left, and they're making some more right now. So if I get a couple orders, I'll be able to get those. But after that, you have to wait for the new ones to come out.
Weren't you looking for grits yesterday, Levi?
I was.
You were. He's got some grits.
But go ahead. Let's go. I definitely want the pimento burger.
All right. How do you want to cook?
Medium.
So we have USDA meat, so prime meat.
All right.
Flat Earth.
So
It's real.
No, it's not. So, Brian, I want you to kind of talk about some of the engineering of the engines, the rocket engines. I don't know if you know any.
I'm a materials engineer.
Okay, so what do you do? Explain that, please.
Right now I'm drinking.
Hey, look, I'm not a doctor. I'll help you out
Compelling
here.
content,
He tests
folks.
stuff. He puts stuff to the test.
This is compelling content right
Test
here.
stuff, right?
No, all right. Let me stop playing. No, I mean,
Sponsored by Money Tape.
No, but why I came down here to work on materials. Like most of what I do is working on engines, materials, coatings, metals, things like that go on to the rockets or different aircraft and things like that. And so you don't think about it when you create these aircraft, you create the rockets. In some cases, they're under extreme conditions. For example, when they're re-entry, the outer surface gets so hot it actually forms this thin layer of plasma. So you have these coatings that have to withstand extreme heat, be flexible, lightweight, and there's nothing man-made that can do that. So you have to create these things from scratch. And so there's a lot of companies here, mine included, that I work for, which will remain nameless, that develop those kinds of coatings and materials to go on all sorts of aircraft. And that's just the outer aircraft or some of the windows and ballistics. When you start getting into the engines and the amount of power they have to output, all those components, the welding has to be completely originally done. You can't go to the Home Depot and ask somebody to plug this stuff in.
Get some paint.
Get some paint.
Some bear paint.
Even the paint, that's even interesting. Even the paint has to be specially formulated. So there's a lot of work here, and a lot of really, really smart people here in Huntsville who have a lot of really complex and interesting problems they work on.
Don't make Huntsville sound so great, because then before I get here, okay? That's what happened in Austin, Texas.
You need to come on then. Come on then.
I'm seriously considering.
Do you have a problem with galvanic corrosion, Brian?
Oh, what?
Galvanics? Which kind of a cell?
What's that?
Just galvanic ones?
Galvanic corrosion.
No, we don't have water here.
Okay.
We don't have water
I just
here?
thought I'd throw out something to try to sound smart, but it didn't work out with Jerry.
No, we don't have a galvanic cell.
I know it. Can you explain what you were talking about with the glass for the water tank? What they do in training?
Yeah. So when we were at the museum, they have the water tank where they do all the training. And so one of the problems with a lot of the windows that they create on submersibles and things like that, as well as with in space, is the refractive index of the glass that they need a really thick piece of glass or a thick piece of transparent material. But the refractive index has to match that of what's out on the outside and on the inside. So light has naturally, as it moves through different things, it tends to bend. That's why you get distortions in water and things like that. Light gets bent.
Oh, real quick before, refractive index is basically how much the light is bent as it passes through a surface.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to break it down for them.
I got you. My bad. And so when you have like an aircraft that's either going to splash down in water or you're going to splash down or work in space, you have to design it so that, because on the inside of the chamber, light coming in is air. There's an air atmosphere. On the outside, there's not. And so it's going to bend differently, distortions are going to happen, and it can upset your optics, right? So how do you account for that? So they had to develop the glass specifically to withstand those sorts of variances in refractive index, but still be lightweight. So they combine all kinds of composite materials, and it gets really interesting.
Yeah, like you can see the difference. Like you could actually, if you look at a window of a tank, like an aquarium tank, you can see like it doesn't look the same as this thing. You look through it, and it looked like I was looking through a blue picture. Like, it was crazy.
It's cool, man. But it's all these little things that you have to think about when you start dealing with space, when you start dealing with high temperatures, high altitudes, that you just don't normally think about in day-to-day life. And so this town really deals with a lot of that.
All the minor details that you need to travel to space or do crazy aircraft type stuff. Yeah, this is my second NASA place, I guess, similar, close to NASA. This is loud now. Well, we got a good 10 minutes out of that. I think everybody's starting to come in. This is about that Sunday brunch.
That Jiu Jitsu entrepreneurship that you were talking about on the drive?
Oh, the Jiu can we recreate that conversation?
Yeah, we can. Why not? Pause it and start it again.
Oh, so, Brian, you had an interesting question earlier about why do you think that Jiu-Jitsu practitioners have the entrepreneurial mindset and spirit?
Yeah.
Like, what is after our conversation earlier, what do you think your opinion is now about it?
I mean, I think we touched on a lot of points, but the biggest one being there's a certain degree of self-confidence that is required to be an entrepreneur. You have to go against the trends.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need another one, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? No. Let me try what he's having.
You want another regular flavor? You want another flavor? What other flavor?
The alcohol's flowing too.
Blackberry mango?
Jiu-Jitsu practitioners.
So I think, and we were talking about this, and we were saying before, is about self-confidence. It's required to be an entrepreneur. You have to be willing to go against the prevailing trends. You can't be a person who needs approval from a lot of other people. You can't be a person who needs a lot of feedback, of reinforcement. You kind of got to buck the trends because you're going to. There's a natural resistance towards being an entrepreneur.
And innovation doesn't happen without people like that just say, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever.
Yeah.
If it sticks to the wall, it sticks to the wall. If it doesn't, it doesn't. On to the next thing.
And I think in jiu-jitsu, as you move through the ranks, you have no choice but to do that sort of self-analysis and develop self-confidence. Either good, bad, or indifferent, you're going to develop it on some level. And so once you realize that you can do this on the mats, it's real easy to translate that into your real life and say, I want to go start a company doing X, Y, and Z. It doesn't really matter. And not care what other people think about it.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, when you think about the creativity on the mat too, you think about your overall jiu-jitsu journey, and you have that time, and you find yourself in uncomfortable situations, and at first those uncomfortable situations are very unfamiliar. You just want to get out of them. You tap out. You just want to get up and move on. But then you find out the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and you find that you're okay with putting yourself in those situations. You become more creative to work your way out of those situations or turn them into wins. And so I think that translates into things that you do in life outside of jiu-jitsu, whether it's a business world, let's say you're entrepreneurial, let's say you're a professional, you're comfortable getting into situations that maybe normally you wouldn't be, right? And you find creative ways to overcome things, and you face challenges from a different standpoint that you would have if you didn't practice jiu-jitsu. And so I think it makes it easy for you to step into a different walk of life, or open up your own company or open up your own business, because you're willing to put in a little short-term pain, if you don't mind me saying, for a long-term gain. If that makes sense.
If I don't mind you saying. He's like, what? I'm here?
No, that's what she said? Okay. No, in agreement of what Brian and Bill said, pretty much took the words out of my mouth. As you come up through your ranks, you develop your own game. In jiu-jitsu, you develop your own personality, your own style, and if you have a good instructor and good leaders, you tend to run free, and they help guide you and keep you in bounds of what's appropriate, but at the same time they don't stunt your creative mindset that you might have in jiu-jitsu. And I feel like that's the same with the relationships we have, whether they're our wives, girlfriends, or boyfriends, and some people.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. But whoever you have special, and it could be parents, or just other leaders in your life, whether it's even your own boss, and that encourages you to go ahead and step out from whatever company you're with or whatever job you're working, and develop your own life love and your own business and your own, and become a true entrepreneur. And I think that jiu-jitsu helps you see that light, because once you're smashed with a guy as big as Bill and Brian, if you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's a miracle.
I saw it yesterday, but then it was taken away from me again.
And that's where the entrepreneurship heart comes from.
Hey, I failed. Look, I succeeded, but then I failed, but then I'm going to succeed again.
He's still living and breathing and doing all that. So yeah. So that's kind of my take on it. Just don't quit, and that's where your entrepreneur mindset happens. Just can't quit on it.
As the Cowboys just scored again, boo. I don't, like I said last week, though, I don't care about that shit. I'm just watching it because it's on. Let's see, where else?
You want to talk about the whole AB thing?
The AB thing? No, we don't do sports on this podcast.
Oh, we don't do sports?
No.
That's good, because that's bullshit.
Not much to talk about.
Yeah.
How Bill Belichick is a mastermind in the NFL.
Well, I mean, we're not going there, but anyway. What else could we talk about?
Burr.
Oh yeah, beer. Well, we had some good beer yesterday. Where were we?
You gotta have this guy come over here.
Oh,
and talk
Campus
about the
805.
Yeah.
That place was good.
Shout out to Campus 805, West Side Huntsville, representing on the beer side.
Shout out to the cutie at the axe throwing yesterday. That was being kind of sassy to me. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna find you. That sounds weird.
That's not
weird.
creepy, is it?
That wasn't too
Nope,
creepy.
not at all.
I think our host got bitten by that Southern charm.
Oh,
he did.
oh man,
I think he got a little Southern charm.
they got it. Let's just say I'll probably be down here more often than not. Tickets aren't that expensive. It's a short flight.
You listen to one girl with a southern accent. Next thing you know, you were looking on.
No,
Zillow
there was a
for some
few.
property.
There was a few. That is not a lie though.
That's real talk right
Yeah,
there,
that
bro.
is look. I found a nice ass house for $175,000, and I'm like, yo, I could get a mansion
You can't
for the
get,
same price that I could pay for, that I could afford up in the Northern Virginia area.
Right, but what's going to happen? Like, you go meet that nice little southern girl accent, and then you piss her off, and she's throwing those axes at your balls, man. I mean, what are you going to do
That's
about
a good
that?
question. And you were teaching her. I was teaching
I know.
her.
I was teaching.
Yeah, that was not. That wasn't proper money.
That's the problem.
I mean, I heard she had the overhand, she had the sideways chop.
Oh
the
no,
other
you're
hook.
talking about
I mean,
our little.
That was our instructor.
Yeah, our
Oh, that was the instructor.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
She
Tell us
had,
a little bit about that.
she was throwing two at the same.
young lady from that other place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
The other place.
she was throwing
The
two-handed
place that
axes.
shall not be named.
Yeah.
Two-handed axes. She was throwing underhand. Oh, we both did the underhand one.
We hit him.
Oh,
We
that
hit
underhand
him.
was awesome, dude.
That was your first time axe throwing for both of you, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
mine was like that type of axe throwing, yes, but not exactly the first time.
the first time he's done it in a social environment.
But it wasn't too
Hey,
long.
bro.
No, I'm saying you were
Let's
right
talk
in the
about the
backyard.
whole area overall, man, and the atmosphere of that little section. That they had
There's a
over there.
Renaissance festival,
Yeah.
bro.
What's that?
There's a Renaissance festival
there-
for axe throw.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's what you did. Okay.
They had the whole setup. I mean, we were on that rooftop. We're
Shout
having
out to
those
the
drinks, tossing the bags and everything they had out there. All those little restaurants. They had the open air area with the music going on. What do you think about that stuff, Jared?
Oh, that was dope. Like again, there's a bunch of breweries there.
All right, pause. If you want alcohol in Alabama, Old Black Bear is the place to go.
Well, yeah, we shouted them out at the beginning, but
I'm just saying after having the second drink.
I'm staring at this thing on the wall. It's like made out of door frames, but it spells out the name of the place. Old Black Bear.
Nah, but I try to tell him.
That's why I
Man,
had to do a
Brian,
second
you've
shout
been down here what, 2 years now?
4.
4 years?
Yeah.
4 years.
Really?
Yeah, it's about 4 years now.
No way.
Just about, yeah.
Time
Where is
flies,
time
right?
going?
It's going so fast, man.
So yeah, he's been out here for 4 years. I don't think you ever tried to get me to come down here.
I tried to get everybody to come. You know what it was? Because everybody gave me the side eye when I said I was going to move to Alabama, except for our boy Kenny. Shout out to Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny. Yes, he's from here though.
Because he's from Selma, which is lower Alabama.
Oh, he's from Selma.
Yeah,
He's from running real
they found out. They found out slavery ended yesterday.
No, hey.
But all jokes aside, big difference between northern and what we call lower Alabama. So it's very different. Huntsville there's Huntsville and then there's Alabama, right? So Huntsville's its own thing, just like Atlanta, and then there's Georgia.
So how far can I travel outside without having to be worried about getting lynched?
5 to 10 miles. No, it's not that bad. I mean, honestly, you got small town mentalities when you start moving further out. I'd say because if you're in the Huntsville, Athens, and Decatur areas, which is northern Alabama where we are now,
So wait a
It's
minute.
pretty cool.
So there's a Athens, Alabama,
Yeah.
and Athens, Georgia.
Yeah.
There's a Decatur, Alabama,
Yes.
and a Decatur, Georgia.
Hey,
Yes.
hey,
How'd that happen?
Well,
because
they're not original. What do you want from them?
Oh, okay.
Southern people aren't that smart.
Oh,
Wow.
don't do that.
Wow.
Look,
Really?
the opinions of my guests are not the opinions of this show.
Wow.
I'm not even part of that
That's a
conversation, man.
Wow.
Let me just sit over here and sip on my drink a little
You
bit.
want to say?
We might have to end this conversation because we're about to get kicked out because of Levi.
Okay. First of all, quick shout out to Yoga Pants Everywhere for creating Levi's outfit today.
He is wrong. I was sponsored by the little boy section in Ralph Lauren.
Or the little girl section.
I don't know who it was.
Hey, he's got the cross of the yoga pants and the Daisy Dukes going on. I'm not quite sure where he got that, but it was special
Yo,
order.
let's just say, folks, he's showing off more thigh than KFC. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, these cats can't even score. Jeez. That was 4th and 4?
They got the fourth.
You gotta be kidding me. All right, we're not doing sports on this joint.
Do you want to talk about the birth of your nickname, Salamander?
No, we don't want to talk about that. Do we want,
Why? We talking about Daisy Dukes?
do we want to talk about the birth
That
of
was a
yours?
conscious choice.
What about
Their conscience.
What about-
They wanted
I
a
already got the
nickname. I gave them a nickname.
I already got the nickname, Big Bill. I don't have
no,
any
your
other
nickname.
nicknames.
You got a new one this weekend.
I did not get another new one this thing. Listen
Nancy.
here. Listen here.
What's it?
Hey guys,
Just
this might
making
get
us
violent.
Oh,
I'm
his
just
new
letting
nickname?
you know.
Oh,
This
he
might
he
get
didn't-
violent.
He
didn't do
didn't
it.
like my haircut. He's trying to say it
His
looked
hair-
like a sperm head. But I told him, man, I said, if that's a sperm head, man, all you'd be doing was put it in your mouth.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
I told you guys, this is getting interesting.
Hey,
All right. First of all, on behalf of everybody, I apologize.
We go a couple more drinks, so you're going to hear some slurring.
It's going to get worse.
look, I'm used to it. I drink all the time on my show, so I'm good. Y'all might not. Y'all might not be able to
Man,
handle it.
he adopted the
here.
draw
Get
pretty
out of here,
fast.
Salamander. I don't want to hear that.
He took the draw real fast.
Hey,
Yeah, he did. He did pick up
You
on that
already
Southern
picked that
stuff.
one
Yep.
up.
He's trying to. Yep. He's trying to get that Southern belt.
Yeah,
She was a very attractive young
was a
lady
nice
too.
yes, she was. Oh, they got the touchdown.
Of course they did.
What do you mean, of course they did.
It's late. They're 10 points away now. They're still two scores away after this score. In
Who's the
less than
quarterback?
3 minutes. Who? Skins? Some white guy. I don't know.
Case Keenum.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. But and they drafted the Darius guys.
And it's 2 minutes and so they have to get it. There's no way.
How much time left in the game?
217.
2:17. They need 10 points. It's been done, man. It's been done.
It's been done, but not
not
by Case
doing
Keenum
it.
and the Redskins.
Not with Dax. Working the way he's working right now.
Dak Smack. You know what his real name is?
I don't care.
What?
Dakota.
Dakota?
His real name is Dakota. That's where Dak comes from.
That's ridiculous.
His middle name is Rain. His name is Dakota Rain.
Is it always his parents Native American or something? Or?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I know. Dakota Rain Prescott.
I know he's black. Like you got two parents.
Dakota Rain Prescott.
Maybe they were hippies or something.
There was something. They gave him.
There was something.
But that's why he went to Dak. Oh,
What about the Joker?
Joker.
movie?
We talked about it once before on the show,
okay.
but man, I'm hyped about it.
I'm really high. I think this is going to be some really amazing acting.
You got Robert De Niro. They're already calling it a masterpiece. They're already saying it Oscar-worthy, best picture of the year type stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't want to hype it up too much, but
Yeah,
excited
I'm
about
not trying to get too hyped, but I like Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. Because I'll tell you right now, after Gladiator, his character he played in Gladiator, I hated him as a person for the longest time. That's how well he played. That's how well he played that part.
That says a lot. Though. It says a
That says
lot.
a lot.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
When he played
He's a phenomenal actor.
when he played the
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
You saw him in Her, right? That movie.
Herb was good too.
Her was good too.
I did not see that.
He's
Herb was a good movie.
The guy falls in love with an AI.
Okay.
It was.
It was the weirdest thing. He like wrote cards, like little sayings in cards, or he wrote like letters for people,
Yeah.
like oh, I love you, this, that, other thing. so they wouldn't have to do it themselves. But then I forgot, I had to watch it again. But the AI came in, and then she started like understanding him, and then he started liking her. And it was a good movie.
Okay, what about the movie? What did you guys think about that movie that came out with Bruce Willis? The play off of Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and
Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Glass.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Glass. That was that's like a sequel.
the last one.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen those.
I haven't seen it either.
Really? Okay.
I heard it was-
I think it's a great movie too.
I want to see it. I
The
have
acting
it
I
at
thought was
home.
amazing, especially by the guy who played what's the white gentleman that had the split personalities? That actor's name.
I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about.
Phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I heard.
He was good.
I heard
The
that
acting
movie
is-
was good.
Split was amazing.
Split was good.
Split was amazing, and if you see him, the play off of it, like maybe not the entire movie was great.
I heard Mr.
but
Glass
the
wasn't
acting
all
was
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think the acting of that.
Wait, did I see
What's
Split?
his name?
I tried with it. I think what they were trying to do is set up the franchise.
Yeah, I know.
for
We
the
do that
future,
on the show all the
I'm too
time.
lazy. I
We're
just
like,
wanna
look
know.
it up. Like, when we have phones in our hand, we have computers in our hand. We have computers that are more powerful than the computers they had on the Apollo 11 mission. Did you know that?
That's a good scientific drop on the day that we visited
James
the
McAvoy.
space station. Something right there.
Yeah.
James McAvoy. Yeah.
And did you realize he also played what movies did he's played X-Men? He was Professor Xavier.
Professor, exact.
He was also he's played in several
these
different
burgers
movies.
look amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing.
The Brewhouse barbecue burger,
Right
medium.
With the egg? Oh,
This is the egg.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you got the same thing I got.
Yeah. I just without the egg.
Thank you. Good.
You have to pause that podcast.
Yeah.
Man, can we just take a moment to talk about these fucking flies out here in Alabama, man?
Yes.
I mean,
Is that your address?
these aren't normal average flies, man. These are like steroid eating carnivorous fucking beasts, man. Where do these things come from, Brian?
Huh?
Huh?
I don't know, man. They're horse
But
flies.
Brian, put the joint down.
All right.
Please.
So we're back. We just ate, and I don't know what were we saying about the flies, Bill?
Man, these things are like, they're on fucking steroids, man. They're the biggest flies I've ever fucking seen. And then when they land on you, everybody got bit by one of these motherfuckers, man. And they
I
weren't
didn't
just
get
like,
bit.
oh, you didn't get bit?
No,
You didn't get, they
because
didn't
I
like
have man skin.
You have man skin.
I saw you fly. I saw you swatting at the
they just-
fly.
They were in my
You were,
face.
yeah,
You did, so you're the one who.
you were the one that brought it up.
I didn't know. No, that wasn't me. That
They're
was
away
him.
from him because he's a motherfucking salamander, man. He was anything to do.
Anyway, back to the science shit.
Nah.
So
I
now
have no idea.
we're at Brian's school, like we said earlier, Arsenal Jiu Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in Huntsville, Alabama. So if you are in the Huntsville area and you're looking for a place to train,
Come see us.
Madison County, come see your boy Brian Moore, Arsenal Jiu Jitsu. Actually, is that the phone number? No, that's not the phone number.
Yeah, it is. 256.
Oh, phone number is 256-656-1143.
That's not the number.
Oh, well, okay.
That's what he asked.
Well,
256-384-5715.
okay.
That's the number. That number there is for the leasing.
For the leasing company.
For leasing company who
All
will
right.
come take their raggedy sign down.
You should take it down for him.
I'm going to. I have the day off tomorrow, so I'm going to go do that. But I have nothing to put it up yet. I have something else to put it up there yet. So we'll see.
Just make it white.
So, question:
Yeah.
toilet paper.
What about? Oh, which way does toilet paper
Which
go?
way does your toilet paper hang, and is it important to you or not?
Is this a scientific question?
I feel like it is.
Okay.
I prefer it to.
Be a social question.
Yeah, it's social. That's
a
not
social
science.
Social.
Because there's no. This is opinion.
Well,
There's
I
no
mean,
facts.
are you
Well,
100% confident that scientifically there isn't a better way for the toilet paper to flow?
Boom.
No CPA, I'm not.
For those that don't know, Bill has a part-time job as a CPA.
Oh, no.
So any of your needs,
Any of your accounting needs, anytime
you let Bill
call
Acton know.
You know,
Oh,
William A.
no.
the Third will be there for you.
So you said it goes. You have it the other way.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it coming off.
You just
So it's
told me
away
you
from
You don't like it coming off the top.
I don't.
Oh, I'm gonna put some pictures up for this.
Okay, what about you?
It
Comes
drapes
from the
down.
top, right?
It's like
And-
a waterfall.
And
No,
yeah,
I hate it.
exactly. And yourself?
I
Bill?
honestly don't have a preference.
Is that why?
It doesn't bother you. I
Is that why I
flipped it.
felt weird when I was in there?
No,
Oh, you
I went
flipped
back
it?
there and
Oh.
flipped it to the normal, what I feel like was the
Back to
normal way.
It'll be
I went to
it'll be
probably go back and
upside
switch it
down.
back around,
It'll
right?
be upside down tomorrow.
No, it'll
Yeah.
work through the roll, and then I'll put it the way I wanted to put it.
Well, the difference. Oh, I know what it is. It's a military thing.
It doesn't bother me. I mean,
That doesn't bother me in the slightest.
it makes sense that if it's flowing towards you, that it's easier to get a hold of, right?
Yes.
And then you reach it more easily, more efficiently, and
And
go
it rips
right to the
easily.
white.
When you're taking a deuce,
makes
the
sense.
I want convenience. I
You
want
want
to be. I want to be
I just
comfortable.
want one little tug.
Yeah, and I want to
It's
pull the
gonna come
whole
down
roll
easy.
if I want to, or if I don't want any.
I don't
of
want to
it.
have to pull up if the
I-
thing's below me.
I think that
Like I'm going here and I got to pull up.
yeah.
Oh no! Okay, wait. I think our orientations are. I'm talking about whether the top of the roll, the sort of waterfall.
Is it back towards
Is
the
it
wall
toward the back or is it
or towards the front?
Oh, no,
That's
the
what I'm
front.
So
The
we're
front.
saying the front.
The
I'm
waterfall
saying
effect.
towards the back.
Yeah, he is saying towards the
I
back
know,
because that's how it
we
was,
got
and
it.
I switched.
We got the orientation right.
Yeah, but
so
you guys
you're-
are talking about like
you're
pulling
reaching
up.
Yeah, because if
No,
I
but
have
you're
to-
reaching under and then pulling up, and then you have it draped down, so you have to reach under and tear
Yeah,
it.
you have to do more work.
It
Instead
is.
of
I'm
just going-
left-handed.
You're pulling the rope.
I'm like, if I'm left-handed,
Ooh,
just
maybe it's a
Oh,
left-handed
well, let's talk
thing.
about that. Trying to wipe your ass when you're left-handed and the toilet paper's on the right.
I don't.
I mean, are you an ambidextrous wiper?
I hate that shit.
You hate being an ambidextrous.
Do you?
wiper.
I mean, I gotta
hate-
know. Do you have to
I'll
pass
openly
the
admit it.
paper?
I hate it when the toilet roll is on the right side. It irritates the shit out of me.
Do you have to pass the paper?
Yes.
One hand
I
to
don't
the
think
like
I've been in
like a
anywhere
fucking
near something like
baton.
that.
This
I
guy's
don't think so
passing
either.
the
Oh, no, I
toilet
have,
paper
I have.
in the fucking
No,
bathroom.
it's usually
It's
on
usually
the
on the
left
left.
side. Yeah, it's
Huh?
usually on your left
I've been
side.
in places where it's on the right.
I've been in places too,
Where it's on the
That
right.
would be.
and I felt
Mine's on the
I felt
right.
better for me on being on this side.
on the right-handed.
I feel like it's better
But
on
would
the
you
left,
pass the
even
baton
though
if it
I'm
was
a
on the left?
right-handed person.
I feel like it's better on the
Fuck
left.
it.
Period.
Yeah, you're passing along like a
It's
conveyor
like this is
belt.
ridiculous. Like,
Well, see, that's why you take if it's coming from the top, whether it's on the right or on the left, it's easier to tear off the amount that you want. If it's underneath, right or left, that's like you're reaching over, you're reaching under. That's too
Reach
much
around
work.
or reach
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
a reach around for your toilet paper.
Oh shit, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie.
this was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was.
It was fun.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Glad you guys came down.
Appreciate you for having us,
Absolutely.
allowing us to teach here,
Yeah, man.
christen the mat a little bit.
Yeah, man.
First blood was drawn yesterday,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
twice actually, because Levi got chopped by an axe. That shit was funny.
No longer a Southern belle, she is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she is.
Oh, she called me.
Man, oh, we're getting in later then. Oh shit.
It's the wife.
Oh, call her.
Let's see if he's in trouble, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, love.
I'm not gonna.
So, all right. The question is, no-gi centric grappling versus gi, more hybrid. You know, gi and no-gi schools. What is everybody's opinion? Why do you like, prefer, not like?
I don't think being PC is my thing, just to let you know.
I know it's not.
But out of respect for this
But
pod,
you-
and
but-
we're
but-
talking
but you
no
won't-
gi versus gi. When we're talking about schools that primarily do just no gi, I think you're taking away from the art. It is two completely different things, but I think they go hand in hand. I think they should run tandem. No gi has some beautiful movement, speed. It's very slick. It's very smooth. Where gi jiu-jitsu can be too, but you can definitely slow it down, and it can be almost somewhat boring and a longer chess match. It's just like playing chess. You have speed chess and you have, time chess or regular chess. And I think that would probably be the best analogy. And they're both great, but if you say I only do speed chess, well, you miss a lot of the art and you miss a lot of the movements that you could learn playing the game of chess by just focusing on speed chess. So the same thing, you're losing a lot of movement and a lot of art by just doing gi, or just doing no gi versus doing gi. And I think it's disappointing for anyone to say, I do no gi, I don't do gi, or I don't put the gi on. And I think the same reversed. I'm definitely a gi guy, but I definitely do no gi because I respect the art, and I will appreciate my art even more of using the gi.
I agree.
Nice.
No,
Well
like
said.
I love the gi. I love the gi. I love the gi. I like no gi, but I like them for different reasons. Like no gi. For listeners out there who don't know what no gi versus gi is, no gi is just what it is. There's no uniform. You're not wearing a uniform. You're basically wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Naked.
No. And then you have the gi, which is the
Or in Levi's case, his normal wardrobe.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
the traditional jiu-jitsu uniform, which is like the kimono that you see everyone wearing in martial arts.
Ours is thicker.
Well, ours are thicker, but they get the idea.
Yes.
Pajamas.
Now, no-gi, I think, is very fast-paced. If you want to do MMA, I suggest you train a lot of no-gi. If you want to learn technique and details in the techniques, I suggest gi. Because no-gi is so fast-paced, you're not getting the intricacies, especially when you get slippery. You kind of rely on your speed and no-gi to get out of certain submissions where you can't do that with a gi because there's friction there. And if the technique is applied right, you're not getting out of that shit.
So that's a good point, right? However, having an MMA background and doing MMA myself, I have found that working the gi intermittently while you're working up to a MMA fight has definitely improved my ground game, because then I'm focused when I'm wearing the gi more on the technical and the positional parts of my jiu-jitsu, and then when I take it off, I feel like now all I did was take weight off of my back, and I'm a lot faster. So me personally, I think the gi is useful whether you're just a sole MMA guy and you just want to do jiu-jitsu in a MMA capacity. I think still working the gi in will help you focus on those technical aspects where you could technically get away. What I think that a MMA person should probably do is not use it for loop chokes or a cross collar choke, because that wouldn't be realistic. But holding positional arm bars or taking the back, if you're working your no-gi game and you're working towards the MMA scene, you can still do gi and work on your technique, so that way when you take it off, like I said, you just feel faster. That's my personal experience with the transition.
I think, just more from a teaching side. I think no-gi is best left for more advanced students, or at least two or three stripes on your white belt. At least get some of the fundamentals down. I think no-gi, despite its speed, its advantages, its athleticism, and some really great technical capabilities that you'll gain from it, I think for the new beginner, it moves almost too fast for most new beginners to really grasp it, and it fosters bad habits.
Yep.
Over-reliance on strength and brutishness, or ignoring when you are past the point of you're in a bad
Agility or
position.
speed.
You're in a bad position, and you think you can just slip out of it because it's the sweat and whatnot, and it fosters bad habits that it's very difficult to fix those later. So I'm a fan. I think both are great, but I just think when you're teaching it for the new student, it's best to start them gi, let them get comfortable with the gi, the technical nuances, and then let them kind of move on to a no-gi class and let them try out and see the similarities and draw comparisons and things like that. But if they have no reference, people have been wrestling, sort of schoolyard wrestling, I don't mean formal like collegiate or anything, for a long, long time. and we've all seen the YouTube videos where it looks awful. Like it looks it looks ridiculous, right? Two people who don't know what they're doing trying to wrestle. It's just like
Laughable.
it's laughable, right? And that's what I think when most people come in as new people. They don't know anything. They don't know how to control their bodies. They don't know how to position themselves appropriately. They don't even have breath control.
No
they hyperventilate,
self-awareness.
right? And I think no-gi allure, its speed, its quickness will lull you into a false sense of security that you are far more technically proficient than you actually are. And I think gi will kind of give you the basis and the foundation, and then you can integrate no-gi into yourself. And I think that's also true when you look at some of the no-gi grapplers who come from less formalized disciplines. Like sometimes you'll see them have just grossly bad habits. Not all. Some of like the collegiate wrestlers are amazing. Like their takedown games, even some of the lucha libre guys are just amazing. Some of their leg lock work and how they've integrated those systems. But you also see that they tend to have some gaps in their technique just because they rely too much on those things like speed and strength and strength. Whereas the jiu-jitsu guys, we don't have that option with the gi. That's just my take. New guys, start with gi, then work to no gi.
Man, overall, just train, right? Because you got so many guys, they're not going to do an MMA fight. So many guys who may not compete. They just need to get out. They need to train. They need to try something that they like. Some people are going to sell you on wearing the gi, and some people are going to sell you on not wearing it. And it all depends on what their style is, right? If somebody doesn't like wearing a gi, they're going to come up with all kinds of reasons why you shouldn't train in that class. And if some people really like wearing the gi, they're going to be like, man, you should be wearing the gi right now because you can do this and that. There's reasons for both. At the end of the day, get your ass on the mat and train. Right?
From CPA, Bill. Get your ass on the mat.
So what's up, South Matter?
All day. So, I don't know. I guess we got about 40 minutes worth of stuff here.
Let's go for 10 more minutes.
I mean, it is what it is. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. I'm 100% sleepy.
Why that Southern girl had you feeding last? So I got a question for the panel, so to speak. Why don't we have more women in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Like, and I don't mean like there's growth in the competition. Even on our own team, we've got probably one of the best brown belt competitors.
Oh, by far, one of the best
in the world.
Michelle Welty.
Shout out to Michelle. But
by far one of the best.
But
man.
there should be, as talented as she is, there's not a lot of women, per team, right? There's a few teams that are led by some, elite black belt world champion women, and they tend to have more women on them, but other teams just don't. So why is that? Why don't we see more women in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I think there's more
than there have been, but
coming
why?
in,
But why?
especially from when I started. I don't even want to say from when I started, but I have seen there's more because they're getting more rep. You can tell even in competitions, there's more females in competitions. I remember sometimes people will
You'd see three in
it'd
the
be
whole
maybe two in one
the
division.
whole division.
Yeah, the whole division. Like you're a world champion after you fought.
Good job, man.
Brian just did some.
He just got one of those steroid flies.
He
man.
did what was it? The guy from Karate Guy?
Yeah,
I just did a
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi.
Caught the fly.
He caught the fly with
Got
the
it.
freaking chopsticks.
Got him.
What was that? Oh,
Come to Arsenal, we'll teach you how to do it.
yeah. Come to Arsenal. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Who is this?
Gi and no gi.
The neighbors.
Oh. They're like, what the hell's going on over there?
Yeah, back in the day, you would only see maybe three girls
Three,
in
maybe
the whole
two.
purple belt division.
And you win that shit at Worlds. You're a fucking world champion. Like you have that title now as a world champion. You had two people, but then you go to the guys division, and there's 20 fucking guys in that same division, or purple belt or brown belt or whatever. And they got to fight 5 dudes or 5 fights, 6, 7 fights, depending on how many is there.
Yep.
And just to become the world champion. So.
But I mean, even just more basically, like, why aren't more women just doing jiu-jitsu and not necessarily compete on the group
Because they don't want to roll around with sweaty men.
So I don't
why?
even think it's that necessarily. I think that most of the time it's because guys are disgusting, and they can be
Like, you mean like how?
I think males in general can be very, I wouldn't say chauvinistic, well, but you have chauvinistic males that feel like this is a man's sport and aren't open to the fact that a woman can beat their butt or can be more technically sound in a move or more proficient in jiu-jitsu. And then I think you have the disgusting guys that give you those skeevy vibes and they may make inappropriate jokes or any inappropriate comments or remarks. And then you
Bill.
just have the general hygiene of most females are going to be cleaner and do worry about, like you said, sweat on it. So, sad to say, it's just, it's a big thing. But the nice thing is what you see, like Dominion Jiu-Jitsu doing all female classes, but the problem is you want a female instructor, you don't want a male instructor, because I think that can lead to issues as well, teaching a female's program. And I think the only reason we haven't seen it yet is because although that scarce amount of women that were training back in the day, they've gone through hell to pave the way for these jiu-jitsu women so that they can actually teach these girls now. And I think now we see it coming that you have more all-female, and so I think we'll have more females in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But I think it's a big turnoff for the most part because of those three topics. Guys being chauvinistic, guys being just idiotic sexual beings, and then guys being sweaty and dirty.
Keep in perspective, though, as well, like other sports that are along the lines of the same thing. Women boxers, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the percentage of male boxers versus female boxers? What about judo? What about other sports like that? What about all these other things? And you think about the beautiful thing about the women that are doing jiu-jitsu. You mentioned Michelle. Think about Chloe as well, man. They're legitimate at their belt level. And the things that they do, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman out there on the mat. If they get their hands on you, man, they're going to do what they do. They're legitimate. Michelle's legitimate brown belt, man. If you are a brown belt, you're going to be struggling with her on the mat. If you're a purple belt or a blue belt, she's going to be whooping your ass all over the mat because she has the skill set to do so. And that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu. That's why we're in the sport anyway, right? Because if you have the right technique, you can overcome the people that you're facing.
I don't think we're questioning necessarily the
validity of their skill set.
It's more so why don't we have more Michelles out there, and why don't we have more Chloes out there?
And I think it's the same thing as the other sports. It's boxing. Why don't you have more female boxers? It's just maybe it's an interesting on their level.
I think it goes beyond that because you mentioned judo. Judo, there's a lot more females in judo.
Okay.
That far beyond because it's a worldwide sport.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I think it could also come down to how many females actually want to own a gym school or be school owners.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot that want to do that. I mean, at least I haven't seen a lot.
Nope.
But if you are a school owner as a female, you probably have more opportunity to draw in more females. And then you can build your team of female athletes that comes up through the ranks and does that thing. But unless you're one of those 1 in 1 million Michelles or like Chloe growing up in the sport, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to get that.
See, I think it's in the perspective when it comes to fighting or self-defense concepts. I think it's, and I've talked to women about, starting jiu-jitsu or starting a program. One of the things is always that we talked about before was the proximity. They don't like the proximity of an attacker, so they want to do things like striking arts or kicking or things like that.
Right.
They prefer those, and right? You can look at any Muay Thai program that tends to have a lot more women than the Brazilian
I was going to say,
program.
the kickboxing and Muay Thai, there's a lot more females that train that because shit, they can punch, they can still beat the shit out of somebody,
Right.
but not have to worry about some guy
Sweating on them.
rolling off. Yeah.
But then it's the other part of it is a perspective on what real self-defense is going to look like. I mean, I think we've all recognized as practitioners, and we're kind of biased in that we know that a real fight doesn't look like a boxing match. It doesn't look like a kickboxing match. It's a multi-headed hydra that can move from striking to the floor to up to down, twisting, and all these different things.
Yeah.
And I think there may be on some level an idealism that the fight will go the way they want it to go in a self-defense situation. And one of those things they don't want to do is have them too close, and they're not going to get put on the ground, and they're not going to get sweaty, and you're not going to have somebody on them.
That's the thing, though.
But
that's the stuff you have to train so you can be prepared for it.
Yeah, I think we know that, and I think a lot of those who have taken on wrestling or the anomalies of trying jiu-jitsu out or trying wrestling or whatever it is they've chosen, grappling art, we all know that a fight doesn't go the way you want it. It's going to go the way it's going to go, and you just have to be ready to deal with all facets of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's this belief on some subconscious level that if I don't worry about that aspect of it, it won't ever become a real issue for me. And that the women who've excelled in jiu-jitsu are those who debunk that. Either sometimes they've grown up with brothers, a lot of brothers who've they've seen how stupid we are, guys as young men wrestling and fooling around. They've got, dads who are very vehement about them learning about self-defense, maybe, ex-military or wrestlers themselves or martial artists. But without those exceptions, I don't know of a lot of women who are like, yeah, I want to learn how to do jiu-jitsu because I don't want to get on the ground. They want to learn self-defense. They want to learn striking arts, but it's a little harder sell for them because I don't think their discomfort level with the proximity combined with maybe the belief that they can dictate more of the fight than they actually can.
Does it have a lot to do with the, if you think about how young the sport is of jiu-jitsu compared to some other types of martial arts in America today? You think about like karate and taekwondo growing up, and judo, that's always been around for a long time, even boxing. And jiu-jitsu is more of a new sport here in America. Would you guys agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
So, maybe...
Just like MMA.
But now you look at kids' classes, and you just got tons. I mean, my daughter's in jiu-jitsu, and she loves it. And you've got kids who are jumping into this sport. And so they're going to be more likely, as they grow up, to put their kids back in the sport that they loved. So now you may be seeing more and more that'll be passed down in the generations, more females doing jiu-jitsu, because it's more of a normal thing in life. They didn't grow up thinking, I want to try jiu-jitsu,
I think another thing is jiu-jitsu in this country was introduced through MMA, which was this brutal, beating two guys, get in the ring, beat each other's asses, and so then you kind of learn that. I don't know if it might just be like an underlying thing, not necessarily. They may not know that's where it came from, but you could see,
violence.
Like,
a lot of violence.
So that might be part of it.
The way it was introduced. From the beginning was a very violent sport. What female wants to do a violent sport?
What person?
I was going to say in general.
It does take a whole different type of person to do any combat art.
I mean, we even to piggyback off of that, we've talked about this, between ourselves, is looking at new students, male or female. They walk into a new gym, there's anxiety all over their faces. So, we can't. I don't know. I think that's just maybe it's more with women, maybe it's less, maybe it's a combination of all the things we've talked about in conjunction with that anxiety. And you're talking about a smaller group, part of the population that's even willing to try it, and then you end up with the very small numbers we get. I think we can admit when a woman decides she's going to do jiu-jitsu, she's committed to it. Man, watch out, because she's going to be a force. And we keep going back to Michelle and Chloe. And good luck to any person try messing with either one of them.
Some of the girls I came up with, Nigel Easton, freaking Sajara Eubanks.
And look at Roya.
She just won this weekend.
Yep, she's doing phenomenal things.
Fifth time
awesome
she's won no-gi pans.
Array.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Array.
Yeah,
amazing females.
And they don't really get the recognition in the sport.
No.
Yeah,
No,
man.
definitely
Now
not.
that I think about it,
Daisy
'cause
Sauter.
you always
Daisy
hear about.
Sauter.
That's on the D. We're still in transition. Okay?
We're still in transition.
Still in transition.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, now that I think about it, like everybody always has, especially with the jiu-jitsu nerds, like they always have their favorite male guy. Like, oh, I like the Mendez brothers. Or I like Hafa Mendez.
Marcelo
or
Garcia, or-
Lucas Lepri, or whoever it is. Freaking not Hafa Mendez. What's
Which one?
I can't even think. Oh, Homolo. Homolo's another one. Like if you're a jiu-jitsu nerd, like these are people you grew up listening to or hearing those names. How many? I could probably name, and I can't even remember her last name. Penny, whatever her name is.
Oh yeah, Penny,
That's
Penny who?
I forgot her name.
I forgot her name.
She's on the Riberos.
I don't remember.
I think so. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the only reason I know about this is Ghazi Parham. Like
Ghazi,
I
yeah.
just know
She's a
her
beast
just
today.
because she's been in the game for a long time.
She's out of Atlanta now, I think.
Somewhere in Georgia,
Yeah, I think she's in Atlanta.
With Alliance, right?
No, Chris Kim, I think. She joined his up in Marietta.
Okay.
And then there's Bia Mesquite. How you say that's how you say her
Yeah.
name?
Bia Mosquito. But she's like with
If it's not a female Southern Belle, it's going to be
No,
a
but
beautiful
it's
Brazilian
just-
lady.
and I mean even as a
You
guy,
can't go wrong either way.
You can't go wrong either way. You're right.
But
you
even
were
as a
right,
guy,
sir.
like watching some of these women fight, and I was just like, I remember, we kind of all trained side by side with members of the TLI team and Lloyd Irvin, and it's just amazing. Like, I used to ask Nigel all the questions about defense, like tons of questions about defense, because she could defend anybody. Like she could get anybody out, and I'm like struggling with certain things, and she would be the one to have the answer, and it would work every single time. And her guard work was amazing. And so I always asked her, like, how do I stop this? And she'd give me some pointer. Because she had to. She wasn't the biggest. She wasn't the strongest. But she always had these really great techniques that always worked, no matter what.
It's because being smart and being technical has nothing to do with being a man.
Good point.
I don't think
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we're saying that.
Absolutely. No.
To be honest, I
No, you're
attribute
absolutely right.
I attribute
Observation.
my attention to detail and super technical whatever to her, because I trained with her a lot, just getting her ready for certain like ADCC stuff or just tournaments in general. I'm a white belt. She was a purple belt, and I have to go because I was a smaller one. They had a decent skill. They could go with her and give her work. So I give a lot of my like technical, like thinking of things technically to her, just because she had to be super technical because of who she was rolling with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. Jiu-jitsu is martial arts, just like everything else, has its politics and its nuance and its social culture. And I think, like we said before, because we're such a young sport and discipline in America, we're still figuring out the nuances of who we're going to be.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is technically, 60, 70 years old?
Something like that.
Something.
Yeah, I mean, it's where these other martial arts are literally hundreds
Hundreds
if
of
not
years old. Yeah.
more.
Karate, kung fu, all that. Hundreds, thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands. And some, that's what,
Yeah.
a lot of these martial arts where they've already had established and gone through probably.
I mean, jiu-jitsu, I don't think there's so much. It's not anything new. It's the way it's been presented.
It's coming of age.
You
It's
look
coming
at
of
Japanese Jiu-Jitsu versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was very, okay, these are the three basic moves and these are the
There's
three
locks.
there was just, 6 locks that you learned and you knew everything in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
Jamal would beg to differ on that one, I think.
I'm not. That might be a little, cutting it short, but still, you get my idea. Where the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game has really opened it up and changed it completely, and so it's a growing, learning sport. I mean, you come up with all these crazy stuff like Barambolo and stuff, where I don't think that really works. And I'll tell you, anyone out there, you're more than welcome to come out here and roll with a brother. Show me what if
He
it
said
actually works.
Barambolo is not shit. And for the people who don't know what the hell we're talking about, I have no idea how to explain Barambolo to you. I don't use it. I try to smash it, but that's just me.
There has been a change in the competition circuit where where Jiu-Jitsu started, we didn't have established competition circuits and rules. Now we've had them for several years now, and so competitors have changed some of their techniques and innovative techniques that are more specifically oriented towards the competition circuit. They take advantage of the rules, they take advantage of certain situations and issues, and the Barambolo is one of those types of techniques. It's effective within the competition framework, but
You ain't doing that shit on the street.
because it's a departure.
I wish a motherfucker would.
I wish a
It's a
motherfucker would.
departure. It is a
Stomp his fucking
departure.
face in.
It is a departure from some of the jujitsu previous jujitsu techniques that translated both from street and in competition. It's a departure from that, and so there's a lot of us out here who look at some of these modern techniques that are only competition oriented, and question: should these be the things that we're teaching students, emphasizing them more, or having them to build their, as we call them, game or their representation of the art through these moves? Or should we just make them ancillary sort of parts of it for competing? Same way you hey, the referees are going to do this, just Barambolo, that kind of thing.
I mean, it's the same usefulness as if you say, I'm going to do a tornado spinning kick, versus just kicking a dude to the head.
But that's been proven to be effective.
But you can hit a tornado spin kick in MMA.
Exactly.
And kickboxing too.
But again, I'm saying let's say in a closed bar situation.
Oh no!
Right? That's not realistic. So we're talking about the general public of just having as martial art as a self-defense. You're not going to Barambolo someone. Now, mind you, if you're in the beach and someone comes on top of you and smashes you for whatever reason, maybe just a big fat guy like some of the people we have here, but maybe a Barambolo might help get you out in a situation. Why? Because you're folded in half and you're moving. Now, me personally, again, I don't respect it, and I'm not a very big fan of it. Same thing with a quote-unquote tornado kick, but it does work in certain situations. I just think it is blown out of proportion, or like Brian said, that it's used to stall or used as more of a sport tactic in competition jiu-jitsu rather than actual practicality in the real world.
That's why I think I want to bring back. Well, I know Hickson talks about it a lot. He was like, I can't even do his voice, but he's like the self-defense part of jiu-jitsu, as he would say, has been taken out of it, and it needs to, I think I want to bring it back to that point. I think we're about to have to go catch our plane, so we're going to go ahead and cut the podcast. Again, this is the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. Today we had Mr. Brian Moore.
Dr.
Brian Moore, material scientist, and you can see in his analysis of jiu-jitsu how scientific it can get, the way he was expressing himself. Then we also had...
You mean using words?
Shut up.
Enunciating.
We also had Levi Sauter,
Head of Valor
Academy.
Valor
Black belt
Academy.
under Leo Dalla.
Yep, all under Leo Dalla.
Well, we're all under Leo Dalla. However, he's the only black belt here.
This is true. It's true.
And then
The CPA.
Bill
I
Acton.
am not a CPA.
If you need to buy some windows,
He hasn't
holla
passed.
at your boy.
He hasn't passed a Series 5.
And a shout out to Grindhouse, an amazing Sunday adventure that you can have with doing jiu-jitsu with all schools all over the world.
Check out
Which is all under Leo Dalla.
yeah, check out Leo Dalla Jiu-Jitsu in the DC area if you're listening.
Definitely.
I'll be there if you want to get choked out, because I know some of y'all know me. But yeah, this is Mad Scientist Lab podcast. At Mad Lab Podcast. I don't remember all the social media right now. Facebook.com/The Mad Scientist Lab Podcast. The website is MadScientistLabPodcast.com. All the latest episodes are up there. More episodes are up there. But yeah, that's all the stuff. You guys got anything? What's your website?
If you're looking for jiu-jitsu in northern Alabama, Huntsville area, Decatur, Madison, come check us out. Arsenal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Decatur's going to be mine.
Arsenal-bjj.com.
Told you he's
Please
moving
come by,
down
check us out. By all means, come on. We're welcoming, friendly. More than likely, my wife will be the one saying hello to you first in the door, so I'll be on my best behavior.
And if you're out in the Northern Virginia area and you're military, we're on Fort Myer, Henderson Hall, at ValorAcademyGym.com. And you can call us at 703-473-0905 anytime.
Don't forget to check out GrindhouseJujitsu.com.
Boom.
So hard, you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio Skulls all day.
The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist